Let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up on fire for your life? Not just alive, not just breathing, but burning with a reason. With something that made you jump out the bed like you were late for your destiny. Now listen, everybody's got a fire, but not everybody's feeding it. And if you don't feed your fire, you'll live your whole life just warm. Not hot, not blazing, just lukewarm. And lukewarm don't change the world. See, too many people are waiting on some miracle, some handout from the sky. They think success is gonna walk in the room, tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm ready now. That ain't how this works. You've gotta fuel your fire like your life depends on it, because it does. You got dreams? Good. Now get up and fight for it. You want a better life, beautiful. Then do what better life people do. Sacrifice, hustle, learn, fall, get back up and keep climbing. Fire doesn't stay lit by accident. It takes constant work. You got to throw logs on it every single day. Now let me tell you what the logs are. Discipline is a log. Faith is a log. Late nights, early mornings, those are logs. Saying no to distractions, that's a log. Doing what others won't, so one day you can live how they can't. That's the biggest log of all. But let me warn you, people will try to put your fire out. Friends, family, folks who ain't got no dream of their own will say, oh, why are you working so hard? Or that'll never work. Let them talk. You just smile and keep stacking wood, because your fire ain't for them, it's for you. And don't you dare compare your flame to somebody else's. Some people just got a little flicker right now, and that's okay. Others, they're already blazing, doesn't matter. This isn't a race, it's a responsibility. Your responsibility is to keep that fire alive no matter what. So here's my challenge to you. Go home. Look at your goals. Look at your goals. Look at your habits. Look at your mindset. And ask yourself, am I fueling my fire or am I letting it burn out? Because you can't be great and comfortable at the same time. You can't be average and amazing. You've got to choose. Fuel your fire with purpose. Fuel it with passion. Fuel it with persistence. Because when your fire's lit, truly lit, nothing can stop you. You weren't born to be ashes. You were born to be a wildfire. So light it up and never let it die. Thank you. Every single person has a fire inside of them. It might not always look the same. For some, it starts as a wild blaze, full of excitement and energy. For others, it's just a small spark, barely visible, quietly waiting to catch on something that matters. But the truth is this, everyone's got something, a calling, a dream, a voice deep down that whispers that there's more for you. That's your fire. It's that inner push that tells you you're meant to build something bigger, be someone stronger, love something greater. But here's where most people get stuck. They feel the fire once, maybe during a big moment, a win, a chance conversation, and then they wait for it to come back. They don't feed it. They don't fuel it. And slowly, that fire dims. That spark, it turns into smoke. And one day they wake up wondering what happened to that dream they used to talk about. It's not that the fire disappeared, it's that they stopped. See, fire doesn't run on inspiration alone. You can get inspired at a conference, watch a powerful video, hear a life-changing message, but if you don't act on that inspiration, it fades. Fire needs fuel. And feeding your fire is not a one-time thing. It's not a weekly thing, it's daily. You got to check in with yourself constantly. You got to ask, what am I doing today that adds to this fire? What choices am I making that keep me burning, that keep me focused, that keep me moving forward? Because every decision you make is either adding to your flame or snuffing it out. A lot of people are living lukewarm lives because they've convinced themselves that staying safe is better than burning out. They think playing it small is a smart move. They think shrinking their vision makes them humble. That's not humility. That's fear wearing a disguise. And fear will kill your fire faster than failure ever will. Fear makes you hesitate. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you settle. And once you start settling, once you start making peace with being comfortable, you start feeding your fire. You start living for approval instead of purpose. And slowly you lose the heat that once made you unstoppable. Your fire is your responsibility. No one is coming to light it for you every morning. No one is obligated to keep it burning. That's on you, and it doesn't have to look dramatic. Feeding your fire doesn't always mean making big, risky moves. Sometimes it's as simple as waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your goals. Sometimes it's reading that book instead of scrolling your phone. It's saying no to that party, yes to your vision. It's trusting your gut when everybody around you is telling you to quit. Every one of those decisions is a log on your fire. Every one is proof that you believe in where you're headed, even if it hasn't shown up yet. The saddest thing isn't when people fail, it's when they never start. It's when they let that fire burn low for so long, they forget what it even felt like to be passionate about something. And the dangerous part, life can still look good on the outside. You can have the job, the car, the calls, the likes, and still feel empty. Because none of that can replace a burning purpose. None of that can substitute for living lit up from the inside. You gotta guard that flame like your life depends on it, because it does. Wanting something is easy. Everyone wants something. People want success, freedom, happiness, recognition, wealth, peace of mind. That list could go on forever. But wanting doesn't mean a thing if you're not willing to fuel that want with real work. Desire is just the spark. It's the starting point. But sparks die out unless they land on something that can catch and hold a flame. That something is effort. That something is discipline. That something is doing what needs to be done long after the feeling of wanting it is gone. Because the truth is, motivation fades. But discipline, that's what builds a fire that lasts. Success is not a gift handed out to people who simply wish for it. It's not a prize for being hopeful. It's a reward for consistency, for showing up when you're tired, for saying no to what's easy and yes to what's right. Bah, think about fire again. It doesn't stay lit because you like the idea of warmth. It stays lit because you keep feeding it fuel. Without fuel, even the strongest flame dies. So, what is the fuel in life? It's the actions you take when no one's watching. It's how you treat your time. It's how you treat your talent. It's how you treat your talent. It's how you respond when things don't go your way. Every time you push through doubt, you're fueling your fire. Every time you practice instead of party, you're adding fuel. Every time you wake up early to chase your goals when others are still dreaming in their beds, you're building something real. People think success is flashy, but the real work happens in the dark, in the quiet, when it's just you and your habits. Fueling your fire means making decisions that your future self will thank you for. It means investing in the process instead of fantasizing or fantasizing about the outcome. Everybody wants to shine on stage, but not everybody wants to rehearse in the dark. Everybody wants the reward, but not everybody wants the responsibility. The fuel is the work that no one applauds. It's the sacrifices you make without recognition. It's the grind, the struggle, the patience, the discipline. All of that is fuel. There's no shortcut to staying on fire. You can't light up for a day and expect a lifetime of results. Fire doesn't run on one good day, one great moment, or one burst of energy. It runs on a steady stream of fuel. That means showing up on the hard days. That means doing the boring work, the repetitive tasks, the unglamorous parts. Fueling your fire is about understanding that greatness is built in small, often invisible steps. The world may not see it right away, but the results will come if you stay consistent with your fuel. Discipline is what turns potential into performance. You could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't apply it, if you don't work on it, if you don't shape it, you'll burn out before anything real happens. Passion without discipline is just noise. Ambition without execution is just daydreaming. What separates the ones who dream from the ones who do is the fuel. They take their want and they match it with work every single day. No excuses, no waiting for the perfect moment, no blaming circumstances, just consistent action. You won't always feel like it. Some days you'll doubt it's worth it. Some days you'll want to quit. But if you've been feeding your fire properly, if your habits, mindset, and effort have been strong, those days won't put your flame out. You'll have built something that keeps burning even in the storm. Because success doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to fuel. And the people who rise aren't the ones who want it the most. They're the ones who feed their fire the longest. Comfort is one of the most deceptive traps in life. It feels good. It feels safe. It tells you that you've done enough, that you can relax, that you don't have to push anymore. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Because greatness doesn't live in comfort zones. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. The best parts of life, the breakthroughs, the victories, the transformations, those come when you step outside of what's familiar, lean into the unknown. The moment you get too comfortable is the moment your fire starts to die. That steady heat you once had. It starts to cool when you stop reaching for more. People chase comfort like it's the goal. They build routines that protect them from change. They avoid risks, shy away from challenges, and settle into habits that keep them from being stretched. But here's the hard truth. You can't become something new while holding on to what's old. Comfort keeps you stuck. It tells you you're doing enough, even when deep down you know you were made for more. That quiet voice in your gut, the one that whispers there's another level for you, that voice gets drowned out when you surround yourself with comfort. And the longer you stay there, the harder it becomes to hear that voice at all. When you're chasing something bigger, when you're trying to fuel your fire, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to do things that challenge your limits, test your patience, stretch your beliefs. That might mean waking up earlier than you want to. It might mean having hard conversations. It might mean investing time, money, and energy into something with no guarantees. It might mean failing in front of people. But that's the price of progress. That's the cost of leveling up. You can't stay soft and expect life to reward you with something strong. The truth is, fire doesn't grow in safe places. You've got to put pressure on it. You've got to throw on logs that are hard to burn. You've got to stand in the heat, not run from it. It's in the tension, the challenge, the discomfort. That's where the fire gets stronger. It's when you're sweating, stumbling, struggling, that's when the most powerful version of you starts to rise. Not in the easy moments, but in the ones that test your grit. That's where the gold is. People talk a lot about potential, but potential means nothing without pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles grow under resistance, and character is forged through trial. Every time you choose to lean into the hard stuff instead of retreating into comfort, you're expanding your capacity. You're telling your mind and your body that you can handle more. And that's when the fire inside you grows. Every time you do something you were afraid of, it grows every time you say yes to the difficult road instead of the easy one. It grows every time you keep going when quitting would have been easier. Comfort will try to seduce you with false peace. It'll tell you that struggle isn't worth it, that it's better to be liked than to stand out, that you should just be grateful and stop chasing more. But there's a difference between gratitude and settling. You can be thankful for where you are and still know deep in your soul that there's another level waiting for you. That next level isn't found on a couch. It's found in the grind, in the stretch, in the discomfort that most people run from. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, your fire roars a little louder. It says, I'm still alive. I've still got more in me. And that fire will take you places comfort never could. True, because the comfort zone might keep you safe, but it will never make you great. There's something powerful about protecting your energy, especially when you're building something big. When you've got a dream, a vision, a fire burning inside of you, not everyone's going to understand it. Some people are going to doubt it, some are going to laugh at it, and some are going to try to talk you out of it. Not because they're evil, but because your fire reminds them of what they gave up on. That's why protecting your fire isn't just about discipline and action. It's also about guarding yourself from the voices that can slowly smother what you're building. Dream killers don't always show up waving a red flag. Sometimes they come dressed as friends, family, co-workers, even mentors. People love you, but don't see what you see. They'll say things like, are you sure you want to do that? Or that seems risky, or you should probably have a backup plan. It sounds like concern. It sounds like care. But what it really is more often than not is fear disguised as advice. Their fear, not yours. And if you're not careful, you'll start carrying their doubt like it's your truth. One comment, one look, one laugh at your idea can plant a seed of hesitation in your mind. And if you don't remove it quickly, it can take root. Your fire is sacred. It's your responsibility to keep it alive. That means being selective about who gets access to your time, your thoughts, your energy. You can't share every idea with every person. You can't expect validation from people who don't understand the level you're trying to reach. Some people can't see your fire because they've never lit their own. They live their lives in safety mode, always avoiding risk, always choosing the easy routes. So when they see you stepping out, dreaming big, going all in, it makes them uncomfortable. And instead of leveling up themselves, they'll try to pull you back down to where they feel safe. That's why boundaries are necessary. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to argue, but you do need to protect your space. Not everyone deserves a seat at your planning table. Not everyone gets to speak into your process. You've got to learn to keep some things to yourself while they're growing. Not every fire needs to be on display while it's still being built. Sometimes you need to move in silence, do the work, let the results speak later. Not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting your momentum from unnecessary resistance. Criticism will come. Resistance will come. That's part of the process. But what matters is how much weight you give it. Every moment you spend explaining yourself to someone who doesn't get it is a moment you're not feeding your fire. Every time you try to convince someone of your vision instead of just walking it out, you're giving away energy that could be used to build. The best way to prove something is not through words. It's through results. Let your fire speak by what it produces. There will also be people who want to latch onto your fire, not to support it, but to benefit from it. They see your drive, your hunger, your consistency, and they want to ride your wave without contributing to it. You've got to be wise enough to know the difference between people who add fuel and people who just drain your tank. Fire grows faster when it's fed by aligned energy, not just any energy. Surround yourself with people who fan your flames, who challenge you to grow, who believe in your potential even when things aren't working yet. What you're building matters. Your fire matters. And it doesn't need permission to burn, but it does need protection. Because even the strongest fire can be put out if it's surrounded by the wrong environment for too long. It's easy to get caught up looking at what everyone else is doing. We live in a world that constantly invites comparison. Social media alone is a 24/7 highlight reel of other people's wins, achievements, milestones, and celebrations. You scroll through and start wondering if you're behind, if your fire isn't burning as bright, if maybe you're not doing enough. But here's the truth. Your fire is yours. Your journey is yours. And you can't measure your progress with someone else's ruler. The moment you start comparing your flame to someone else's, you risk losing sight of your own growth. Everyone's path looks different. Some people hit their stride early. Others take time to build, learn, fail, and regroup. Some fires burn bright right away, like a burst of lightning. Others start slow, like embers, and build over time into something unstoppable. There's no right pace, no standard timeline, no universal playbook for how success is supposed to look. What matters is that you're building something real, something that matters to you, something aligned with your purpose. The minute you start chasing someone else's pace, you'll start running a race you were never built to run. Your flame might be in its early stage. It might still be flickering, still fragile, still figuring itself out. That's okay. You're not late, you're not off track, you're developing. You're learning how to manage your energy, how to focus, how to stay committed even when results don't show up right away. And guess what? That's part of fueling your fire. Comparison will make you forget that the process is just as important as the destination. It'll make you ignore how far you've come because all you can see is how far ahead someone else seems to be. But you don't know their story. You don't know what it took for them to get there. You don't know what sacrifices they made, what failures they hid, what pressure they're under. All you see is the surface. And if you're not careful, you'll let what's visible in someone else's life make you doubt what's valuable in your own. You'll start trying to replicate instead of create. You'll copy instead of commit. And that's when your fire starts to lose its uniqueness. Your spark is different. Your vision is different. Your purpose is not meant to look like anyone else's. When you respect your own journey, you stop rushing it. You stop beating yourself up over things you haven't achieved yet. You start appreciating the lessons that only come from your path, your struggles, your setbacks. Fire is not just about the blaze. It's about what it endures. Every setback, every disappointment, every delay, it's all part of your fuel. It's what makes your fire resilient. When you stay focused on your own growth, you're more patient, more persistent, and more likely to last. Because you're not burning to impress, you're burning to progress. The danger of comparison is that it takes your attention off your own fire. It distracts you from what you can control. You can't control when or how someone else wins, but you can control your consistency. You can control your preparation, your mindset, your attitude, your habits. You can control how much fuel you add to your fire each day. That's where your power is, not in matching someone else's level, but in maximizing your own. There's no rule that says your flame has to look like theirs. Maybe yours is quieter. Maybe yours is deeper. Maybe it's still hitting underground, growing roots before it rises. That doesn't make it any less real. That doesn't make it any less powerful. What matters is that it's burning, What matters is that you keep feeding it. Because when your time comes, and it will, you'll be ready, not because you copied someone else, but because you honored your own fire. There are moments in life when everything in you will want to stop. When you're tired, frustrated, disappointed, or just unsure if it's even worth it anymore. That's when most people quit. They hit a wall, and instead of pushing through, they turn around and go back to what's safe. But what they don't realize is that wall isn't the end, it's the test. It's the fire checking if you've got the stamina to keep burning when everything else says cool down. The people who make it, the ones who build something real, something lasting, something powerful, they're the ones who keep going even when the feeling is gone. See, passion is a beautiful thing, but it's not always present. It's easy to move when you're motivated. It's easy to hustle when everything's flowing, but the real work, the real fire shows up in the grind when nobody's clapping, when nothing's exciting, when progress is slow. That's when character is built. That's when you decide whether this is something you're flirting with or something you're married to. Your fire has to be more than a mood. It has to be a commitment. And that commitment gets tested in the moments when quitting looks easier than continuing. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's not the highlight reel. It's waking up early even though you didn't sleep well. It's showing up to the gym when your body aches. It's writing another page, making another call, recording another video, even though yesterday's effort didn't go how you hoped. It's trusting that even when the results aren't visible yet, something is still growing beneath the surface. Fire doesn't grow with feelings, it grows with follow through. And every time you choose to keep going, you're stacking wood on your flame. You're building something that can withstand the cold. There's something powerful about refusing to quit. It sends a message not just to the world, but to yourself. It tells your mind and your body that giving up is not an option. It trains you to push past limits, to stretch what you thought was possible, to break through that invisible ceiling that has held too many people back. And eventually, that persistence starts to pay off. Maybe not all at once, maybe not in the way you imagined, but brick by brick, your consistency builds a foundation that can't be shaken. You've got to remind yourself why you started. Go back to that moment, that feeling, that reason that lit the first spark in you. Because on the days when you feel like quitting, you need to reconnect with your why. Not just for inspiration, but for direction. Your why is the compass that keeps you moving when the road gets foggy. It keeps your fire alive when the wind starts to blow. And sometimes that's all you need. Not a miracle, not a sign, just a reminder that what you're building matters enough to keep going. Obstacles are part of the process. Challenges aren't proof that you're doing it wrong. They're signs that you're moving, that resistance you feel. That's the weight that builds your strength. No champion, no innovator, no trailblazer has made it without pressure. The fire inside you gets stronger each time you refuse to fold. Quitting might give you temporary relief, but it steals your future. It trades what you want most for what you want now. And if you do that enough times, you'll wake up one day with a list of regrets longer than your list of accomplishments. Consistency beats talent when talent doesn't show up. Determination beats luck when luck runs out. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most gifted. You just need to be the one who didn't stop, the one who kept showing up, the one who believed that their fire was worth feeding even when no one else saw it, even when it didn't look like much. Because the truth is, most people quit too soon. They stop 3 feet from goal. They walk away right before the breakthrough. They put out the fire right before it had a chance to become a blaze. So if you've got that spark inside you, don't let it fade. Feed it every day with effort, courage, patience, and vision. Protect it from negativity. Build it with discipline. Fuel it with the kind of passion that doesn't depend on moods. Your fire is your responsibility. Your fire is your gift. And when you commit to keeping it lit, no matter what, you become unstoppable. The world doesn't need more people who play it safe. It needs people who burn so brightly that others are inspired to light their own. So go out there and fuel your fire. Burn bold, burn true, and never let it go out.